Hi everybody, this is Paul from SecureStack. This is the second video in our new series about the SecureStack developer platform. In the last video, I showed you how to create an account in the SecureStack SaaS platform, then how to create a new managed application, and finally, what a standard analysis looks like. In today's video, we will talk about how to set up an API key with SecureStack and how to use that API key to let SecureStack integrate with your local Git workflow. All right, let's get started. First thing is to log into SecureStack and click on the profile section in the black drawer here on the left and click on download CLI. Find the version of the CLI binary that you require and download it. Today I'll be demoing for the macOS version. Okay, so I've downloaded the file and now I'm going to flick over to the terminal real quick. Okay, now that we've got the CLI downloaded, we're going to do several steps so that it can work. The first thing we'll do is we'll unzip the Bloodhound CLI zip file. Next, we'll change permissions on the Bloodhound CLI file. Then, we'll move the CLI file to user local bin. And then we'll check the version, and we see that it needs an update. So I'll do a manual update here. Okay, we're finally ready to use the CLI. Before the CLI binary can do anything, we need to create an API key in the SaaS portal, which will tell the CLI how to use it. So let's flick back over to our web UI, and let's go to Profile, and then Generate Key. You can name the API key anything you want. So today we'll call it Amelia Demo. We'll click Generate Key, and we'll copy the contents of that key. We flick back over to the terminal, and then we'll run Bloodhound CLI init. This will tell us about the two different ways to use Bloodhound CLI init. The first is what we want, which is how to initialize the second is how to initialize the application configuration. So you can also get some information by typing CLI init-h. Okay, let's go ahead and run a Bloodhound CLI init-k and drop that API key in there. Awesome. So now we should be able to run a Bloodhound CLI applications, and that'll tell us any applications that we've already created. And sure enough, there's one there from the last video when we created the Nifty Bank app. Now the CLI is actually talking to the SaaS backend. You can basically run all the functions here from the CLI that you can in the SaaS web portal as well. Before I show you how to set up a pre-commit hook for Git, let's go ahead and real quick run Bloodhound CLI init-a. Now what this is going to do, this is actually going to init a different type of file, and we're going to drop in the application ID here. What this does is this creates, you can see if we do an ls-al here, you can see it creates this Bloodhound RC file, and all that has in it is the app ID. Okay, so SecureStack now knows that this directory contains the code from the repo that we set up with the Nifty Bank app in the web UI. And that's created a small YAML file in this directory that lets the SaaS know about this. You can commit that file to your repository to centralize how your team interacts with this managed application. So let's go ahead real quick and show you now how this works. We're going to do a code-s, which is for credentials, and let's do a -z. No leaks found in the repository. That's great. Hey, that's awesome. You can also do a -d 10 or 20, and that'll look at that'll scan the last number of commits. So D is for depth. But real quick now, let's go ahead and create a .git hooks pre-commit file. And here we go. This is set up with the application ID that we've already set up, and it's got 2 lines to call the Bloodhound CLI. The first is the -s-z, which looks for credentials in the changes that you're trying to commit. It puts it in CI mode, and then it exits if it finds anything bad. And then the second line does something similar, but in this case, it's actually running our software composition analysis, or SCA scan, which looks for vulnerable third-party libraries and open source libraries. So we're running 2 scans here. Let's go ahead and exit here because I've already saved this file. Let's do this. So now, if I actually add a, let's say somebody's editing this JavaScript file, oops, and they create a var password equals, and let's add a, all right, here we go. So one of your developers has accidentally added a password, or maybe an AWS key or an Azure tenant key or something along those lines. And they accidentally added that to your repository, and they try to commit that file. Just added a password. Oops. Boom. It actually sees that there's a password there, and it stops you from being able to check that code in. This is the power of a pre-commit hook. It really stops your team from accidentally doing things when they're moving fast. This is one of the most powerful things that we use at our team here, and we really suggest that all of our customers set it up too as well. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.